Hey there, welcome back. We are going to look at event-dependent switches again. Again, switches, they all come of the same type. In one of the previous videos, I showed you that you had to talk to an NPC before you got something else, or could go into a cave, a variety of things. But a switch basically has a cause and an effect. So something in the gameplay will cause a different effect at a different location. So in this one, what we're going to show you is event-dependent switches having to do with getting something from a chest or answering a question correct in order to have the effect point do something different, okay? But again, as long as you are creative, please don't do the exact same switches as these, but the idea for all switches is exactly the same, and they all have the same premise, a cause and an effect. So that's what you really want to focus on, is the programming part of those two items. So in this one, I might as well show you my first one. What I'm going to have happen here is my cause will be at my chest here, and my effect will be this guy here. So basically, this, when I get something from the chest, it will cause something different to happen at this effect point, okay? So let's go ahead and just look at the two things. So at your cause point, for example, so I have to get something from this chest. I think I've already set that up. So it says I'm getting a bronze spear, I'm getting a door key, and it's saying congratulations, you've collected a key and a spear. Don't worry about this self switch, that's in a different lesson, but you're getting something. So that's a cause. Now at the effect point, which is going to be this character here, at the effect point you always need two things happening. You basically need to ask yourself, what happens if the cause doesn't happen, and what happens if it does? So what happens if I do get the key and the weapon from the chest, and what happens if I don't? So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to create two events on this guy. So if I go into that event, I've got one event. I'm going to create two event pages. So I've got two event pages, and event page number one, I'm going to say, okay, what happens if I haven't done the cause? So in other words, what if I haven't gone to the chest and gotten the key and the and the spear, or the key and the spear? So here's what's going to happen. He's going to say, I'm not talking to you until you get, and I could continue to edit this if I want to, until you get the key for me. Okay? Good enough. That's what he's going to say if I haven't done the cause. Now, on tab 2, the second event page, I need to ask myself, what happens if I have done the cause? You need to program every part of it, from the graphic onto all everything. So the graphic here is number 20. So I'm going to go into that new event page, make sure it's the same graphic, and I'm going to have the second cause being, or sorry, this the second effect here is, what happens if I have gotten the key and the bronze spear? So I'm going to insert a text saying, congratulations on collecting the key. Now go into the cave so you can use the key on your journey. Something like that. Okay. Again, the story part doesn't matter. You should be creative in your own way, please. Just understanding switches is the important thing. So the cause and effect. So there we go. So what we need to do now is make it so that, and this is where the actual events come in, we need to go back to the cause point and do one other thing. We need to go back to this cause point, and after I've gotten that weapon and the door key, I also need to not only do that, I also need to have it turn on a control switch. Okay, so I'm going to go to control switches. It's going to turn on, and you should edit which switch it is. You'll have multiple switches, so hit the right arrow key, and I'm going to call this one, so always name them. I'm going to call it got key / spear. Okay, so that's an event command. So at the cause point, you need an event of turning on a switch as well. Now if you go to the effect point, that second effect, so if I've not gotten the spear and key, you don't have to do anything with that, but on that second effect, we need to make sure that we've got a condition that if that switch has been turned on, so if you've done the cause, so if that switch is on, that switch was named got the key or spear, if it's on, then it will allow you to access the second part of the effect here. So let's show you that it works and show you one other switch, and that'll be that. So I'm going to go ahead and play my game. So here it is. So if I go up to this guy, I haven't done the cause. Again, the cause is here, but I haven't done it. If I go up to this guy, he says, I'm not talking to you until you get the key for me. Okay. Again, you could say where to get the key from. It could be way more parts of your adventure. You might want to have that that specific effect point be on the door so you can't get into the cave. But this guy is the effect point. Okay, he's going to continue to tell me I'm not talking until you get the key from me. So if I go to the actual cause point, not only will it tell me you've collected a key and a spear, it'll give me a key and a spear, but also it will turn on that switch which activates that second effect page because that's a condition. Okay, now he says congrats on collecting the key, now go into the cave so you can use your key on your journey. Okay, so that's one switch. Just going to show you a different one. Again, exactly the same. All switches are the same event dependent switches, but here's just another concept. Here's going to be my dad, and my dad's going to say that he needs to get an elixir, that I need to get an elixir from inside the cave. So I've set up a question here. And this is, again, going to be my cause point. I need to answer a question correct to get an elixir from this amulet. And once I've done that, my dad will give me something or whatever it happens to be. Okay, it'll be game over, let's say. Super simple game. But here we go. So dad is the effect point. So if I go to dad, I'm going to create two events here. So one is dad's going to say, I'm going to make the shortest game ever. You need to answer the question at the amulet correct before question at the amulet correct before you come back to me and win the game. I need that elixir. Okay. So that's his first event. I'm going to create another event page. So what happens if I do come back with that elixir? So I think dad is considered, no idea who he is here, cleric 4, I think. So there's dad. And in this case, he's going to insert thanks for the elixir. You have completed your mission. Okay, and even after that, I will just, since your mission's complete, there is an event here called game over. Okay, so boom, you won, perfect, done. Okay, so that's the two basic effects. The cause of winning this, or the cause of getting to the second effect, is at the elixir, or sorry, at the amulet. So here's the amulet. I've already set up a question here. So basically, here's the question. It says, in order to receive the magic wand, I should edit that. It should say elixir. So I'm working on the elixir here. So in order to receive the elixir to give to your father, you must answer the skill testing question. What is the name of the main female character in Stranger Things? And I did it choices. I've shown choices in a previous video. So my choices were Mike, 11, 12, or Donald Trump. As we all know, it's 11. So I've even set it up that if you answer Mike, it's going to say that's not correct. If you answer 11, it says that's correct. Here's your elixir, and you get an elixir. If you say 12, it says that's not correct, I'm sorry. If you say Donald Trump, it says that's not correct, I'm sorry. So we've set up our cause, we've set up our two effects. So now what we need to do is at the cause, if you get the answer correct only. So I'm not going to put it at the end, I'm going to put it after the correct answer, but same thing. I need to turn on a switch as an event. Okay, so I'm going to insert, after I answer 11, a control switch called answer was 11. Okay, so I got the answer right, and at that cause point, I turned on that switch. So the only thing I need to do now is go back to the effect point and make sure that that second scenario is, what if I get the answer correct? What if I get the elixir? I need to make that as a condition that that switch is on. So if I go back to map 1, here's my dad. That second event, if I get the elixir, I need to put the condition that if the answer was 11, switch is on, my dad's happy. Okay, so let's see if this works. I just need to edit this event because I think I had done something previously, so don't worry about what I'm doing right now. I'm just making sure that this is going to work really easily. So here's my game. Just another event-dependent switch. They take a little while to kind of digest. So if I go here, you can see I haven't answered any questions correct. I can go into the cave, I can go out of the cave, whatever. But now Dad, who's my effect point, you need to answer the question at the amulet correct before you come back to me and win the game. I need that elixir. So no matter what I do, he'll continue to say that. Okay. So if I go into the cave, I go to the amulet. So here's the cool thing about choices is in order to receive the elixir, blah, 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 blah. Here's my skill testing question. Who's that female character? And I'm going to answer it wrong this time. So I'm just going to say Donald Trump. So it says that's not correct, I'm sorry. So you can actually see that my dad is still not going to be happy. You need to answer the question at the amulet because I got it incorrect. So I can go back. If I answer the question correctly, which is 11, I also turned on that switch, which is the answer is 11 switch, and that second effect, which says thanks for the elixir, you've completed your mission, takes place, and I get. So congratulations, I win. So that's another type of event-dependent switch. Again, they are all identical, and that's how they work.